Welcome to Chasing Gold, the 2025 Black Canyon edition. I'm Schuyler Hall, bringing you along as we meet many of the top athletes that are going to be tearing up the course on February 8th. That live stream happening here on the Mountain Outpost channel. Joining us today, no stranger to YouTube, no stranger to this course, and no stranger to big results, Eli Hemming. Sir, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on.
No, thanks for being here. So I'm going to start off with the opening question we ask all the guests. So I need you to put on your imagination cap. It's contract season. So imagine you find yourself in an elevator with the head of your dream brand. What is your 30-second elevator pitch on why that brand and those folks should bet on you in 2025 and beyond?
Ooh, that's tough. I am very much not a salesman, and even more so, I'm terrible at advocating for myself. Um, and also, I have really awesome sponsors as is right now, so it's tough kind of thinking about that. But honestly, I would just say like I've had some great results leading up until now, but I see it as, and I plan for that to be just the start. I plan on doing much bigger things in the space going forward.
Awesome. Yeah, you've definitely done some big things, especially as of late. Last year, you were here at Black Canyon. You raced the 60K and came out with the win in 4 hours and 6 minutes. And then you just proceeded to tear up the rest of 2024, a win at Big Alta, a win at OCC, and a 5th place at JFK, in which you were battling for the win for quite some time, as we all saw on that live stream. So just talk to me about 2024 and how you saw the as a whole. Was there stuff left on the table you're like, I wish I had that, or did it go as well as you could have hoped?
Yeah. So honestly, all in all, I was super excited about 2024. I mean, obviously, I went in kind of with one goal in mind, and that was the OCC win, and that was kind of everything of the season was built around that. So that I accomplished that, you can't be upset about a season about that. Like everything went pretty dang well all up until then. After that, it was just kind of doing kind of other stuff like JFK was not a great showing. I kind of deserved the place I got with the training that led up to it. And it was, but the season went just as about as swimmingly as it could have gone.
Yeah, listen, you can't be upset with the 5th place at JFK. Like with the way that you battled there, I think a lot of folks were very impressed with what you were able to pull off. And what's wild is that that 5th place at JFK is your worst finish in a race in like a year and a half or 2 years. I think you've only been outside the top 10 once since Sierra Zinal in 2023. What do you attribute your consistency to?
I think it kind of goes along with just the consistency in everyday life. Like if you're consistent in your training, consistent in life, consistency will follow in your athletics as well. It's not something that I try to like say, even like workouts and all that stuff. It's never, I don't go for those A+ workouts. My goal is always a C+ workout. C's get degrees. And it's one of those things that in everyday life, as long as you're consistent, I see consistency in other places as well.
So talk to us a little bit about the non-running related things, right? We've had the fortune of getting a bit of insight into your family life through your YouTube channel, but how are you integrating the entire ecosystem outside of the time that you're running to find that balance in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, the balance is difficult. It's finding the right balance is one of the hardest things that I've found, that me and Tabor have both found in our life. It's we like you said, we live on Tabor's 5th generation cattle ranch, and so there's always work to be done on the ranch. There's always something to be done, so you can't just be like sitting on the couch doing nothing, which is really hard because being a professional athlete, a lot of times the best thing you could be doing is nothing. So finding uh, finding the ability to say no to my father-in-law has been tough. Of like, okay, I'm not going to go build a fence today. I need to sit here and I need to recover from my big workout, so that I can actually continue on this professional athletics thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say your mindset must be incredibly strong if you were down to say no to an in-law. So that must serve you well in races as well, because you know that no competition is going to be larger than an in-law. Um, Talk to me a bit about this upcoming Black Canyon race. You know, frankly, what's the goal here? Because as far as I can tell, I don't think you've actually finished a 100K. Not sure if you've even started a 100K. What's the interest in Black Canyon? Are we trying to get that golden ticket? Just walk us through sort of what brings you to the start line.
Yeah, so really all of my trail running career has been trying to find what I enjoy the most. I left a pretty good gig with professional triathlon for and now it's kind of just doing what I love, figuring out what I like best. So kind of what this is figuring out if I like the 100K distance. And so it's just trying it out. As for a ticket, it's definitely not my motivation to be here. As with everyone, I think it's hard to say no to a golden ticket, but uh, right now it's definitely not the first thing on my mind when I'm going into this race. I'm going into this race as like a exploration of, do I want to race this long? Like, is 50K the rate? Because I've last year loved doing 50Ks. They're so much fun for me, but is it the longer the better for me, or is it like there's a point that I'm just okay? I think I found that happy spot for me. So exploration is what I'm here for.
Yeah, like looking through your results, I was just looking at the total time run, and it feels like you've never raced longer than 6 hours. Like even JFK was just a tad over 5.5 hours. And so, you know, what is your thought about what the last 2 to 3 hours at Black Hand is going to look like? Are you intimidated by it, scared by it, excited about it? Like, what's your visceral reaction to just being out there past 6 hours?
Yeah. So I think I'm more excited about it than anything. I think I'm going to again learn a lot about myself. I'm exploring here, and I'm going to figure out if I do like that. And I've always had this thought in my mind that eventually I'd be doing like 100-mile races, but I was kind of working my way up, kind of enjoying the fast stuff, doing all that. But I figured eventually I'd be doing longer and longer stuff, but you never know until you actually try, and you never know until you get to that point of your body actually starts shutting down. So I'm super excited. It's something that is absolutely a mystery to me. I've been out on 6-hour training runs, but it's very different when you're running like 7-minute pace at Black Canyon.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, even though you haven't run this 100K course before, as we talked about, you won the 60K last year, so you've seen a pretty good chunk of the course. And historically, your Adidas Terex team has had training camps and had a lot of athletes who run this 100K before. What intel have you gleaned either from previous training camps or from your teammates that you're bringing as you've been preparing for and then ultimately going to race here at Black Canyon?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, and my kind of biggest worry really, leading into the race is not going out too hard, not breaking myself within that first 50K. I learned that last year of just how much downhill is in that first 50K. So I think that's going to be a chance of Eli being doing something stupid. So that's kind of my biggest goal of the race is to not do anything stupid. So first 50K, be very careful.
So let's play in that space a little bit, right? Because stupid for one person might be like the optimal strategy for someone else. And recognizing that this is going to be an incredibly competitive field, how much can you give ground to maybe like a breakaway off the front? You know, are you spotting them a couple of minutes? Are you spotting them? Hey, I don't want to be outside the top 10. Like, where's your head at from just a sheer competition standpoint as you try not to quote do something stupid?
Yeah, no. honestly, so even just like the way I typically end up racing, I have a habit of going out very hard, and I end up kind of pushing the pace on pretty early on. So I find it hard to believe that my ego is going to let me be outside of much of the top 10, top 15, leading in that first little bit. But one of my goals is to not be leading at 50K.
Okay. All right. Just the long sit and kick game.
Yeah.
So thinking through, as we talked about the previous training camps that the Terex team has done in the area, it seems like you have not been on a training camp or leading into this particular race. We've seen it in the videos that Tabor was down doing CIM and you've been running workouts. How has this lead up to Black Canyon differed from some of your other, A races? And, how is that changing either your confidence, your mindset, or your prep as you get ready to take on the start line?
Yeah. So this has actually kind of been like a little bit of a training camp for us. We have not been up at the ranch this whole month. We've been down in Boulder, which we've kind of been joking that we're bringing snowbirds because the weather up in Kremling is absolutely awful. And so we saw like -30 at the ranch the other day. So we're down in Boulder where it's a little bit warmer. There are some dry trails, there are dry roads, and there's opportunity to actually put in big training volume. So we kind of have been on a little bit of a training camp, if you will. Um, so it's definitely felt a lot different. I think some of my best training is always at home, just because everything is kind of simple. I know where everything is, but we've spent a lot of time in Boulder, and so we're pretty familiar with everything here. So it's gone really well. I think I've hardened the legs enough that as long as again I don't do anything stupid, I should be able to make it through the race.
Absolutely. Boulder's known for its trail running community. We know that there are a good number of lone wolves down there, but you're also at no shortage of being able to link up with potential training partners. Have you taken advantage of that, or have you been pretty solo during your time down in this training camp in Boulder?
Yeah, for me, this has been like my social butterfly hour. I have been running with people multiple times a week, and coming from living up in a little town in Kremling where only Tabor and I get to run together, it feels like I've been an extremely social person.
Any of your competitors that you've been running with?
Yeah, I've been running with Seth Ruling a lot.
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
we've been talking a lot of trash.
We need more trash talk in ultra running. So by all means, if you want to bring that to light, we will gladly accept that here on the episode. But in lieu of just completely dunking on your friends, I want to ask you, as we talked about a little bit, this would be your longest race, both in terms of time on feet and actual distance. Have you been thinking about your nutrition and what your strategy might look like as you go into this unknown exploration of the 100K?
Yeah, so kind of leading into this has been nutrition has been one of my big focuses because my worst race last year being JFK 50, um, that was the reason why, is because I was lazy on my nutrition and I ended up stopping in many porta potties and pretty much jogging the last 15 miles because my stomach was so bad. So this has been a pretty huge part of this training block is I've been focusing on eating as much as I can, trying to kind of training the gut, if you will. Uh, and so right now I think I'm pretty set. Like I've been down in flow gel, precision flow gel like crazy. And I've not had any problems. So let's hope that stays still for Black Canyon.
For sure. This is a pretty cruel race, all things considered. And you're no stranger to a quick transition. What's your game plan with your crew? Are you bringing any pacers down? What is your day-to-day operation, or excuse me, your day of operation look like as you're trying to get yourself to the finish line in one piece?
Yeah. So I got a couple triathlon buddies coming to be main crew for a little while because Tabor, my wife, is running a half marathon that morning as well. There's the Mesa Half Marathon down in Mesa, Arizona.
Mhm.
So she actually starts an hour before we start. So she's going to do her half marathon and then hop right in the car, drive up to the halfway point, and she'll be my head crew chief after that. But I got some good buddies coming. I will have a pacer, and I kind of see it as one of those. It is absolutely a performance enhancing thing to be able to. So if you have the option, you should take it. Whether like 100Ks really need pacers is another story. But if you have the ability to do it, I think you should do it.
How did you come to that realization? I mean, given this is your first attempt at the distance, why do you have that mindset around needing a pacer, or not needing a pacer necessarily, but having it be beneficial?
Yeah, it's as simple as like just having somebody else out on the trail with you. Time goes by much quicker. Even just them reminding you to fuel, kind of your brain kind of goes to mush after running hard for so long, and like I've even gotten to that in 4 hour races. So I just imagine in a 7.5 hour race, it's going to be even more so. Of my brain's going to go to mush, and I'm going to need a caretaker if I'm going to be running as hard as I want to run. Um, so it's kind of just a little bit of moral support there. Just having somebody with you at all times and can cheer you on when the going gets tough, but can also just kind of let you fly when you're feeling good.
And so, recognizing that it's beneficial to either have someone goading you along or to be focused on a singular goal, do you have a sense of what you're going to be keying off at this race? Are you you mentioned that you probably don't want to get too far off the top 10 or top 15. So are you going to be keying off of what the lead group is doing? Are you looking at historical splits, heart rate? Like, what's going to be guiding you to make sure that you don't do anything stupid until your pacer is out there to do the heavy thinking for you?
Yeah, so I'll be a little bit more running the race the first little bit, just kind of playing with how I feel. Not huge into the heart rate during races. I think there's a time and place for it, but there's a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot of variables that just I don't want to have to be doing the math of, okay, well, it is kind of warm right now, so my heart rate might be a little bit higher, or yada yada yada. Um, so I will be going off of feel for the first while, figuring out how I am doing. But I do have written down like say like Hayden's times from last year, and I want to know what those times are, see how I'm doing on each segment, and then we can kind of go from there. At a certain point, it is just run as hard as you can run, but it's good to know those splits in the first part of the race as you're running to feel.
For sure. And in the back half of the race would be the part of the course that I would presume you maybe have not seen or just don't know as well. Given you ran the 60K last year, have you seen what the last 35K of the course look like, or do you have plans on checking it out before race day?
I'm gonna do a little bit of recce, but I have not seen any of the course past what is it, Deep Canyon Ranch or whatever it is. So I'm kind of going in blind, but I think I'll go try to check out the last little bit and hope that I can act properly during the race.
It's hard. See, that's what the live stream is for. You just go back to last year's, you get a sense of what you don't get
Yep.
to see in person. You'll be fine. And speaking of that live stream, we're super excited to be able to follow you along on the journey. We'll be here on the Mountain Outpost channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button below. But we'd be remiss if we didn't get to the quick mix questions. 5 fast hitting questions, one of which is about the live stream and what we want your folks to be doing. So, Eli, are you ready for the quick mix?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, question number 1: what's going to be your shoe of choice at Black Canyon?
That's easy. Agravic Speed Ultra.
Yeah, I figured it would be an easy question for you.
Yeah.
Number 2, we need more hype in trail running. Like we just got to get more amped. So, what would be your walkout song to the start line?
Oh, okay. So if I'm being completely honest, like I'm a pretty laid back and like mellow guy, especially right before a race. And I think that'd probably be good for me to have. Like a little bit more true to character would be something kind of boring, but for the sake of the question, definitely like oh shoot, I don't even remember who it was, but the song Hooligan. I like that one. That would be fun.
What? Okay, so I'm gonna throw like a part B here. If you were listening to headphones, I'm not sure if you're a music person before a race and you like this more down tempo, chill, mellow component. What do you normally listen to, or like what would be your Spotify Wrapped ahead of starting a race?
I don't listen to any music before a race. I try to just keep calm, hang out with my crew, hang out with Tabor. Um, Again, it should be the easiest part of the day, so I try not to get too hyped too early.
Sweet. Make sure you don't do anything dumb. I respect it.
Exactly.
Question number 3. Let's assume you have an unlimited budget for a month-long training camp. Where are you headed and why?
Ooh, I mean, I think my favorite place to train in the world is in Kremling. So that's kind of tough, but say, I do love the desert. Like I would go train down in the desert during the winter. If I had an unlimited budget, I would definitely go down to say Sedona and then be able to go down to Phoenix to train.
Fair enough. Yeah, dodging -40 is, I think,
That's the
valid.
goal.
So
Yeah.
can't fault you for that one, man. Question number 4. Let's assume that we're turning Black Canyon into a 2-person relay. So think a 3-legged race. Which one of your competitors would you tie yourself to?
Oh, I might go with Seth purely because I've trained with him and I love spending time with him. So I'd love to be a part of the team with him.
Awesome, awesome. And question number 5, we talked about the live stream going to be here on the Mountain Outpost channel on February 8th. What emoji do you want your supporters to just spam the live chat with to show you love as you're making your way down course?
Oh, how about the poop emoji with the smiley face? Purely so that it gets all out on the live stream and I don't have to do it on course.
Wholly respect that. Yes, let's learn from JFK and hope that you don't have any similar incidents. So,
Yep.
supporters at home, you know what to do. Make sure you're spamming the live chat with the poop emoji on February 8th. Hit that subscribe button below and then hit the bell notification. You'll get notified when we go live with the race. It's going to be a good time. Eli, any last words for the folks at home?
Oh, just thanks for having me. Follow along if you can, if you have the time. Hopefully I can do something good for you.
Listen, you being here on Chasing Gold and at the race is something good for us. We're excited to follow you along. So thanks for joining us today. Thank you at home for joining us here on the Chasing Gold series. I've been Schuyler Hall. See you guys next time.